Hi and welcome to this episode of Digital Marketing Answered. Today I'm joined by Vogue and we're going to be talking about influencer marketing. So Vogue, to start off with, what is influencer marketing?
Influencer marketing is a really powerful marketing tool that many different businesses use. Our clients use them across B2C and B2B, and it's just a way of building brand awareness, reaching more people, reaching new audiences, and ultimately getting a higher return on your investment.
So why is influencer marketing beneficial to businesses?
It can really help businesses reach a wider audience, build brand awareness, engage with new users, and ultimately increase revenue, which is what every business wants.
So do you think there's any particular reasons why influencer marketing works so well?
If you do it correctly and you work with the right people who are passionate about your brand, know exactly what you do, know what you sell, know what products you sell or services that you sell, they're essentially doing the marketing for you because they've built this following of people who are essentially similar to them because they're interested in what they do. They're promoting your brand, they're using your brand, they're engaging with it. Their followers will naturally want to copy what they're doing, like a mob mentality kind of thing. You're basically using them to basically say it works with this person. If it's working with this person, spread it to all of their followers, and then that's how you're kind of growing your reach, and then from there you're growing even further reach, and it expands like that. So it can work really well for businesses in that way. However, I know we'll go into it, but if you're not working with the right people, it can have adverse effects, so you do have to be careful for it to work well.
Yeah, because I guess there's a lot of trust, within influencer marketing as well.
Yeah, exactly. So it's the social proof that people buy into. So, for example, if someone loves your face cream and they're your perfect, ideal customer profile, ICP, they're using your face cream, they're loving it, they're seeing the benefits of it. Their followers then see that, they see the social proof, and especially the younger generation. I was watching a talk in a marketing conference we went to in Lithuania, and they were saying how, Gen Z, they cut the crap, if you like, and they just want to see they want to see how things actually work, and not we're the best at this, because anyone can say we're the best at whatever, but until you actually see it in action and see it, see the face cream working for someone else who you look up to, you're going to be like, oh, I want to buy that, I want to try it, and there you are. You've had another sale from that person, but you've essentially done nothing. You've just given it to that one influencer who's then passed it on. So trust is a massive thing because they've trusted that person for a while or however long it is. They've seen them on social media. They've seen them, do what they enjoy, and then they want to do what they're doing.
Oh, great. Yeah, that sounds really interesting, actually. And in terms of influencer marketing, are there particular channels that influencers use more over others, or?
Well, obviously, there's the main social channels, which are, Instagram. TikTok's a massive one and growing. Depending on where your audience are and where your customers are, that's where you want to be. So you want to meet your customers where they're at. It just depends. You have to test things. Definitely in marketing, everything's about testing, seeing where people react the most and respond. And most importantly, with influencer marketing, the engagement piece is key, because you want people to engage. It's all very well promoting things, but if no one's actually looking at it and taking interest, it's useless.
Yeah, that's true. So would you say it's sort of like almost a targeted approach because you're finding different influencers to kind of promote, I don't know, products or like businesses?
Absolutely. So, there are many ways you can find the right influencer. For example, if you go onto TikTok, you can search a hashtag and then you can see who's trending, and then who's who's big on there, and then you can get in touch that way. Or you could go onto some software platforms, or you could work with, agencies, experts who know where to look and who have the right contacts. But also, it's going into Instagram or TikTok or Facebook, potentially different platforms, and going into the niche, because actually you might find that when you search for those trends, you see these macro influencers, these big influencers with thousands of followers.
Yeah.
But actually sometimes you get more engagement going to the influencers, I say lightly, content creators, people like to say these days, with less followers, because less followers sometimes means, not always, but means more engagement. Because they've that's why you need to understand how much engagement a channel is getting, a person is getting, how much they engage with their audience versus how much they're just kind of another profile.
Yeah.
Because you can buy followers, the vanity
true.
metrics can be very, what's the word? False.
Sort of misleading.
Misleading, that's the word I'm trying to look for.
It goes against the kind of trust
yeah,
that
exactly.
we're trying to build on social media.
So you can see hundreds of thousands of followers, whereas if you go to someone who's a realist and posting day-to-day stuff and posting things that are relatable for their followers and engaging with them and messaging them, commenting back, and they have high comments, high likes, but also the followers, you'll find that they'll be much more, their followers will be much more inclined, and they've bought into that person already, even if there's fewer of them.
Kind of a bit more genuine sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So if someone wanted to go about doing, starting influencer marketing, some of our viewers might be, tuning in because they're considering doing it for their business.
Yeah.
Do you have sort of like any tips sort of on how to get that started, from the research to the sort of, I guess, like any guidelines or contracts that need to be drawn up?
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously dependent on what you're doing, but just obviously you've got your niche, so whatever your business is in, make sure you know exactly who your target personas are and who the people you want to speak to are. From that, you can then look into topics, so similar topics, keywords, pull them together. What are you selling? And then go onto these social platforms. There are software platforms that you can use to find influencers that you can work out their engagement and their following.
If you have an influencer who's got a larger following on social media, and you've got an influencer who's got a smaller kind of following, do you feel that the smaller following almost has like a more emotive engagement because, I don't know, they're more invested in the journey? Or
not always, because some influencers have just genuinely done a great job at building their not fan base, but their follower base. Smaller influencers, it doesn't necessarily mean that they'll always have higher engagement,
right.
But it just means that, for example, this influencer that we're working with, she has incredible potential to build a massive following, which is why we've caught her at the right stage where she's willing to work with brands like the client, but I know in the future she will be reaching even wider audiences. And people with big followings, as I say, it doesn't mean they don't have the engagement, but it's not easy to get that many followers. And if they do have that many followers with a lot of engagement, there will be competition for other brands to be fighting to get that person to work with them. So, and I mean, even with this influencer that we're working with, we've seen her on photos of other brands, pages and things, and you think people snap them up quickly because they know the impact. But as I say, it's not easy to judge this, and you do have to do a lot of research and time, which is where working with someone to help does come into play, because it does take a lot of research and understanding and liaising with these people, understanding their intentions. When you first go into influencer marketing, don't think, we're just going to go for everyone and anyone, because you've got to be selective from the get-go. You've got to choose. Think about your brand as your baby. Whoever's influencing your brand or promoting it for you, you want them to treat it with respect, and that you want them to go to the right people and looked after, and you don't want your brand image to be ruined and tarnished because of someone just giving them the reins, because essentially that's what you're doing. You're saying, here's my product, tell everyone what you think about it, and let's hope and pray that you say the right thing. If you're working with the right people, you'll know that they're invested and they want they're not going to lie. So yeah, it depends. That's what I say. Always working with people who have done it before. I mean, we've got so much experience at IV with innovation visual with this kind of thing, and we've learnt the ropes with B2C businesses as well as B2B, because you're going for different. B2B is more thought leaders you're going for, because they're, you know, it's a completely different thing. B2C is more working specifically with products, and, you know, don't just do whatever because you think, oh, I'm influencer marketing now.
Yeah. So you mentioned about sort of like thought leaders, and I've seen a lot of LinkedIn sort of around that. Can you explain a bit more about what that kind of looks like?
Yeah, I mean, with influencer marketing, it's essentially people who have built a strong reputation within an industry, and they know what it's the same kind of thing as I was just saying. They know what they're talking about. People respect them. They follow what they're doing, and so they buy into whatever they're buying into, because it's the trust piece. Influencer marketing and trust are just, they go hand in hand.
And in terms of viewers who are like considering influencer marketing, is there a particular sort of like industries where it works better for? Is it all about selling products?
When you talk about the right industries, it's not right or wrong. It's just trial and error, I think. But the key thing is finding the right people who your brand can build a personal relationship with and a long-term relationship. If someone's just going to promote your brand once, personally, I don't think it's worth it, because they haven't bought into your brand.
Sort of like a relationship
building.
It's
like the bigger like act as if they're working for you, and you're collaborating to build your brand, and that's what you're doing. So therefore, if you just say, oh, can you just do one post and get that out, I'll pay you this much and you can get the commission, whatever, that can, I don't know, I just don't see that working from a long-term perspective, because then how many other brands have they done that for, that person?
Yeah, no, that sounds really interesting. And if so when we're working with influencers and developing campaigns, is there sort of like a measure for success that we can sort of look into, or like, because we've talked a lot about engagement, so do you just have any insights into how you can tell that a campaign has been successful?
Money. Yeah, ultimately engagement is great, but the reason why I emphasize engagement is because usually engagement brings the money, because when people are engaged and they are invested in someone and they're keen to try what they're trying or doing, listening to what they're saying and like trusting what they're saying, they will often buy into that, and there's the money. So your return on investment is the the thing to measure. You've got to think about the strategy, which, like, for example, what we do with our clients at Innovation Visual, we think about the strategy. We respond before we react. So we think about it, we plan it all out, we know exactly what the influencer what we want to achieve from it, the goals from the campaign. We map it out, speak to them. Are they on the same wavelength? It's okay to say no when they're not, because it's better than wasting time. So
in terms of the actual content, so obviously the influencers developed this on social media, but can it go further than the social media platforms?
Yeah, absolutely. So for example, with a client recently, what we've done, we've actually taken what an influencer we were working with has produced, and we did some videos with them. That really helped engagement, everything like that. What they were saying got great feedback, because obviously it's true to our followers. They identify with it. So we've taken what they've said in the videos and we've embedded that across the content on the site. Wow. And that also really helps build the organic SEO strategy and content strategy, because Google really favours the content that follows the EAT principle. So that's experience, expertise, shows authority, and trust, which is essentially saying, this content is from someone who's really going through what the reader is going through, so they can identify and they can see how your solution for them has helped that influencer, and it's helped that content. We've seen organic keyword ranking uplifts. We've seen, more engagement, more click-throughs on the page, because people truly see, so you pull in quotes and people can, okay, it's all very well posting a blog on how to do this, but when you actually see someone doing it, who you can look up to and identify with, immediately you're more engaged and the brand is more authentic, it's more trustworthy, and it's unique to competitors. So that's a key thing.
So it sounds like influencer marketing is a really great strategy, really, to kind of get that reach further and to connect all the user journeys together.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's, as I say, you're just finding the right people who are promoting your brand. User-generated content is, when they're taking the photos themselves, the videos, and then they're basically building that content for you. You haven't had to do anything. All you've had to do is just find the right people, and then they're promoting it. And then you can take that content that they've used and promote your brand as well as them, because then it's a two-way thing. If you're promoting their content, they love it, because then it's like, well, your brand should, would likely have the followers and the engagement already. So it's a two-way thing. You can take that content, use it for more campaigns in the future. So for example, one client, what we've done is we did a big competition in December, like a Christmas competition, generated loads of user-generated content from different influencers as well, and also the customers. And we've managed to use that for content for the whole year.
Wow.
To post like testimonials and stuff. So as I say, it's all about engagement, getting people to, show that you care, show that there are other people out there going through the same thing, and we've helped them help to solve their problem with our services or product.
Yeah, so it's almost like so much further than just getting the sales, really.
Yeah, definitely. And it's brand awareness, but brand awareness, engagement, ultimately comes back to sales, and it's a big circle.
Yeah,
but,
so it can all interlink with a business strategy.
Oh, definitely. It's key in your marketing strategy,
So to conclude this episode then, I just wondered if you could give the viewers your top 3 sort of like takeaways. So if someone was watching this video and they want to go and get started with it, influencer marketing, put it in their strategy, what are the 3 things that you'd recommend they'd do?
Well, okay, so there's loads of things you can do, but...
Top 3.
So, number 1, define your target personas. Make sure you know exactly who you're speaking to. Make sure you know who your brand is speaking to, who you're selling to. Number 2, find the right platforms and the right people who will, speak your brand in your tone of voice, with your messaging, and promote to the right people, and who are invested and, who will do the right thing for your brand, who won't tarnish it, who will get the right people to get onto your site, and you're working with the right people who have the right intentions. Yeah. Number 3, work with an agency, work with someone who knows what they're doing, experienced in it, because trust me, this kind of thing can go really wrong, and it can have long-term effects on your brand if you work with the wrong people. And you've probably seen stories of massive brands who have worked with the wrong people and it's affected them in the long term. And remember, whatever goes online stays online forever.
Yeah, it takes a long time to recover.
I would definitely say if I was selling something, I would go straight to an expert, speak to them, see what they say, and help them form the strategy that will then ultimately lead to success, awareness, engagement, and money return on your investment. So yeah.
Great, cool. Thanks so much for the conversation. It's been really great talking to you all about influencer marketing. We hope you enjoyed this episode of Digital Marketing Answered. Please like and subscribe to our channel and let us know what you think in the comments. And until next time, take care and we'll see you soon. Thank you.